Stuck in a tiny village, my 6-year relationship is in turmoil. I don't feel like his priority, I lamented as he prioritized a political event over our anniversary. Now I'm questioning everything. Should I uproot my life for someone who can't see my pain? Hello, everyone's. I am sharing this out of desperation and am truly seeking advice. I 27 years old, female, and my boyfriend, 31 years old, male, are currently experiencing very challenging times. I have no friends, family, or siblings to talk to, and until now, every decision I made with my partner was made without guidance from any experienced individuals. I feel like I have made significant mistakes. Therefore, when you respond, please keep in mind that I genuinely need advice. We have been together since 2019, so for approximately 6.5 years, and we moved in together 2.5 years ago to a new city. We come from different countries. I found a job and relocated to a city in 2020 when I was 23 years old. When I turned 25, we decided to live together, switch jobs, and move to the area where he works in a very small village in Germany because my job allowed me to work from home entirely. I have struggled to form friendships in Germany, especially in this tiny village. The closest international community I found is located 50 to 100 kilometers away. He also wanted to socialize in this new location and believed that joining a political party would be the best way to meet many contacts. This is the context I wanted to share with you. From the beginning of our relationship, we often encountered problems. It was never easy, but we have always wanted to resolve them and discuss these issues because we love each other. So when we moved in together in 2023, we still were not the ideal couple that we aspired to be, and unfortunately, many more issues accumulated over the last 2.5 years. Ultimately, our relationship feels very strained. First, I would like to briefly list the positive aspects of him. He cares about me and supports me when I need assistance, whether it involves doctor visits, cooking, cleaning, traveling, etc. He invites me to family gatherings, weddings, and visits for babies. He makes plans for our days or weekends together. He buys me flowers or small gifts, such as a sweater or ice cream. We have a shared bank account and contribute equally for rent and groceries. We experience happiness when it is just the two of us, enjoying our time at home, such as baking brownies. I believe we both love each other, and despite our problems, we have been trying for 6 years. My primary issues with him include feeling as though I am not his priority. The me versus others, friends, groups, family, strangers situation affects his actions and decisions negatively. Easter 2025. While walking along a main street, I had an issue with my eye and requested his assistance to check it. Meanwhile, a woman asked him to take her photo with her family. He agreed to help her, engaging in conversation and joking with her family while I stood in pain, rubbing my eyes and waiting for him to finish. Easter 2024. I have a childhood trauma concerning dogs and am actively working on it. We visited his parents, who own a very energetic dog. It was communicated to his family that the dog should remain leashed. However, after 1 to 2 hours, they let the dog loose and it began running around. I continually lifted my legs while on the sofa to avoid contact, was unable to get up to use the restroom because I knew the dog would come over and couldn't eat comfortably. My partner was aware of my discomfort but failed to remind his father to leash the dog again. As soon as we left their home, he apologized for what had happened. May 2025, we planned to visit his sister, who told him she was sick and currently recovering, but it wasn't an issue for a short visit. I had been advised by some doctors to avoid getting an infection to prevent triggering my autoimmune system, so I should take precautions against getting sick. I asked my partner if we could wear face masks in his sister's house. He agreed and said he would assess the situation regarding coughing and would put on masks if necessary. The reality was that she coughed and sneezed frequently, the home had an odd smell, and he did not suggest or offer masks. He looked at me apologetically for the situation, and the next day I woke up with a mild fever. January 2025. He was elected to a significant position in the political party for the campaign and was asked to deliver a 10-minute speech at an event coinciding with our 6th anniversary this year. He accepted the request with my agreement, promising the event would last a maximum of 3 to 4 hours, leaving the rest of the day for us. Days before the event, he fell ill, canceled our anniversary lunch, and spent the entire day preparing for his speech scheduled for 18:00. He returned home at 19:30 and we exchanged gifts without having any special anniversary time together. His focus was on the event and not on us. I expected that if he canceled the anniversary lunch due to being unwell, he should have canceled the event as well. I anticipated something special for Valentine's Day to make up for it later, but that did not happen either. He is comfortable having female friends, but As a final concern, he has a flirty female friend and has not set boundaries with women. In 2019, he went on holiday with some exchange friends, all of whom were girls. I was uncomfortable with this, but he assured me there was nothing to worry about since he was loyal to me and it was just a short city trip while they stayed in a hostel. They also had drinks together. April 2025. In the political party he joined, there is a girl who flirts with him. She holds a managerial position and my partner frequently communicates with her, shifting from regular messaging to phone calls, meetings, and having photos published together in the newspaper. She recently requested his home address to deliver some party-related items. My partner shared his address, which I discovered by checking his messages. I asked him to delete the message and to instruct her to drop off whatever she needed at the party office. I do not want any party members or female friends at my front door. April 2025. After this year's successful election campaign in Germany, some party members wanted to organize a gift for her. Guess who offered to buy the gift, wrap it, and drive 40 minutes to deliver it to her? My partner. I intervened and said, "You are not taking a gift to her. You will drop it off at the party office and someone else can give it to her." End of discussion. That approach worked. December 2024. The political party booked hotels for a big event and I was invited as well. On the same day, the party had a meeting in a nearby office where he and the flirty girl discussed transportation to the event or to the hotel. We all drove together in his car. When we arrived, she said she would not be attending the event that evening because she was too tired and planned to sleep. My partner then stated, "Since she is not going to the event, I also don't want to go. If you're interested, we can walk in the city." Why are we dependent on her decision? If he was not inclined to attend the event that night, why did we arrive a day early? 10 minutes later, she texted him saying, "I forgot my charger, do you have one?" He replied, "Ah, sorry, I just found it." I often wonder if I had not been in the hotel, would she have dropped by for a USB cable and would they have ended up together? This is a question I have wrestled with since December 2024. April 2025. During a city trip, he complimented a married woman when her husband was absent and she was purchasing a scarf. I asked him, "You knew she was married, she was with her husband who did not compliment her. Is it your responsibility to compliment a married woman?" He apologized, saying he did not consider it and if it bothers me, he would not do it again. He has excluded me since joining the political party regarding processes, expectations, and responsibilities. I hardly know what is going on. At one point, I felt as though they were brainwashing him because every second sentence he spoke related to politics. However, that is not accurate. I met with the people and nobody is brainwashing him. He is simply excluding me. He wants to conduct his business and I feel left out. I desire transparency. He wishes to join the political party and take on active responsibilities along with his full-time job, regular sports, personal time, family commitments, and potential future children. I do not see how this is feasible due to time constraints. I told him that if this is his goal, he should quit his primary job, as a day consists of only 24 hours. But he insists that he can manage. If this situation does not contribute to peace in our home, why is he pursuing a side project that causes trouble and introduces flirtatious women? He is a wild card. He brings up the possibility of breaking up easily whenever he feels troubled. To me, this implies that I am easy to replace and not significant to him. Our love languages do not align. When I cry, he does not respond how I hope, which makes me cry even more like a child. He struggles to provide the emotional support that I need when I am hurting. He has also expressed discontent that I am not meeting his love language needs. Is this something that can be resolved? I have concerns about his appearance. He has scoliosis, which affects the way his upper back and shoulders appear. Because of this, he has a hunchback, which sometimes turns me off during intimacy when he wears certain shirts or when he bends to pick something up. He does not appear very confident or masculine, which is understandable. He was also born with one kidney, and this worries me. I fear that if we have a child in the future, they might be born with one kidney as well and may lack self-confidence due to their father's appearance. I apologize if I sound harsh. I am simply sharing my most challenging thoughts. He frequently complains about the responsibilities of adulthood and wishes he could return to kindergarten. This indicates to me that he may not be mature enough and still behaves like a child. Sometimes it feels as though I am walking alongside a toddler or a pet because when I suggest, "We should play volleyball," he responds, "Yes, I should look for a volleyball group." I did not express a desire to play group volleyball, I meant we should play together. Similarly, when we see university students engaging in a drinking game, he says, "Oh, that looks fun, should I join?" I remind him that he already played those drinking games in college 10 years ago and now he is 31. He typically agrees, acknowledging my point. He seeks friends, social groups, and opportunities to socialize, while I desire commitment, peace, children, a home, and security. I have now realized that I do not wish to remain in this village any longer but would prefer to live in Munich, where a larger international community exists. I want to move out of this village, and he mentioned that we could look for new apartments near Munich and his workplace. Should I stay with him and relocate to a new place? Will that help? I feel very trapped. Are we compatible? Or have I been closing my eyes, hoping for the best over the past 6.5 years? Thank you very much for reading. Story 2. Confession ruined everything. After telling Blake about my past with his friend Oliver, he pulled away, feeling like a second option. I wept in his arms as he left for months, telling me, I promise I'll return. 7 weeks of silence and I still crave our future together. Did I lose him forever? I'm a 21-year-old woman who moved to the United Kingdom to study almost 2 years ago. Since my relocation, I have been struggling with intense feelings of loneliness, both platonic and romantic. Last year in March 2024, I developed feelings, or perhaps just an attachment, as I honestly cannot distinguish between the two, for a 20-year-old man from my university. He was enrolled in a different course, but I knew him through a mutual friend. Let us refer to this individual as Oliver. I had quite a significant experience with Oliver, as he was the one who took my virginity, which I had guarded and saved for the one. To make a long story short, he was indeed not the one. It took me several months of severe anxiety and mental repercussions to move on from that entire situation, which led me to seek refuge in the arms of more people, hoping to find at least a moment of affection and love that I so desperately yearned to feel. After a handful of increasingly worse and more unsuccessful attempts at love, I was contacted by an unexpected individual, another friend of Oliver, and that mutual friend. Let us call this person Blake, who was 21 at the time. You see, Blake caught my eye from the very beginning, but I assumed he either was already involved with someone or would never in a million years be interested in me. I did not pursue his friend Oliver as a way of settling for the next best thing. Oliver simply provided me with the right amount of attention at the wrong moment. Our conversations initially started off quite superficial and more sexual, as neither of us knew anything about the other person beyond their attractive appearance. However, those messages developed into something deeper, texting until morning, followed by phone calls and late-night video calls. It was during this time that I understood Blake had actually been interested in me all along, but due to the same reasons I had, he never admitted it. I also realized at that point that I should have chosen him. I wished it had been him from the start. We share the same sense of humor, favorite television shows, principles, ideologies, a passion for really old music, a similar fashion sense, and overall we just clicked. It became clear that we had both started developing feelings for one another. Fast forward a few months, on a random sunny day, I thought to myself that Blake probably deserved to know about my past with Oliver. I believe in honesty as a cornerstone of a solid relationship, so I shared this personal information with him. Unfortunately, it did not go as I had hoped. His reaction was quite intense, and after 2 days of silence, he finally told me he had undergone a similar experience in the past. His friend with benefits, which I believe distinguishes it somewhat, since my situation with Oliver, who was his friend, occurred months earlier and was only once. This led him to feel insecure, and as if he were a secondary option, resulting in self-harm and depressive thoughts. He then informed me that he needed time to contemplate whether we would continue to communicate or end things altogether. After an agonizingly long 3 weeks, we finally had a call. I sat outside our cottage at 4 a.m., rain pouring around me as I fought for my future with this man. After 2 hours of discussion, he asked me out. I was in disbelief. The outcome was even better than I had anticipated. However, merely 3 days later, he ended things, stating that he could not shake the feeling of being a secondary option. He was never truly a second choice, nor even a first. At that point, he was the only one with whom I envisioned my future. We did not communicate much for several months, until one day, this was during my first term before 2025, he called me at night just as he always had. He suggested that we finally meet in person, which we had not done since I saw him a few times at the university months before these romantic developments occurred. I, of course, agreed. He came over to my place, and it was just as wonderful as I had envisioned. We ended up sleeping together, which made me wonder if that was the sole reason for his visit. However, we did not communicate much afterward. We did see each other again a month later, and this time it was even better. He stayed over, we chatted, listened to music, and talked about our lives and projects. The last time I saw him was 7 weeks ago. He stayed at my place and we discussed even more this time, listened to old music together, danced a bit, got food, and talked about my second-term university project. I study fashion design. As a fashion enthusiast, he expressed genuine interest in my craft and made me feel heard and appreciated. Unfortunately, he also shared some heartbreaking news. Due to sudden and entirely unexpected financial difficulties, he was compelled to leave his apartment, meaning he would need to depart the continent at the end of the month to stay with his family and work on getting back on his feet. This meant I would not see him for 3 to 6 months. My heart broke, I cried in his arms like a baby for hours. He promised he would return, but the reality is we have not been in contact since then. I sent him a happy birthday message which he has not even acknowledged. I followed up with a message about our future. Still, there was no response. It has now been 7 weeks without any communication. He mentioned that he would not speak to anyone from the United Kingdom to fully focus on rebuilding his life before returning. I would have given up the idea of ending up with Blake, but he did mention a few times that he was considering giving us another chance. I even ended up seeing Oliver, who also stated he did not believe that Blake and I were a lost cause, as Blake randomly called Oliver just 5 days after our second meeting. It was as though he wanted to hear the story from Oliver too but was too afraid to ask. Regardless, I cannot stop thinking about him. This person simply felt right. However, I am afraid that my confession ruined everything, and no matter what I say, he will not understand that I genuinely do not see him as a second best option to Oliver. Even Oliver himself thought it was foolish for me to have told Blake about what had occurred. I truly do not know what to do. I keep hoping to see Blake's name appear on my screen at night, and he will tell me to try again. I want to learn how to play the guitar with him and create clothes for him and live our lives together. But I am fearful that I have lost him and that I am merely nurturing a dream in my mind. In summary, I do not know what steps to take after a confession that may have jeopardized our relationship, yet I still believe it was right to be honest with this person. The consequences, however, are tragically difficult to handle.